Jay, I want to get your reaction from last game when they were guarding you with Kemba. Every shot you took still was a three-pointer. I was wondering, one, if it was a surprise, and two, all we hear about is how playoffs are about adjustments. So if you see that again, would there be a different approach, or do you still have to stay in what you're doing?
Well, obviously, I don't want to give everything away through you. But obviously, we got to make adjustments, and that's what we've been doing. We've been practicing, watching film. We'll continue to do so. But obviously, it'll be a different game plan, a different approach moving forward.
And then we see that a bunch of times. They try to park people on different people who maybe don't have complete roles in the offense. They played Enes Kanter for a while in the first half on Andre Iguodala, same type of thing. So now that you have a 3-day break and it's getting that way, without getting specific, I know you can't, is it only natural to see sort of this back and forth chess game? Thank you.
Yeah, it's the playoffs, Ira. You know, you've been a part of it. You saw it. It's about making adjustments and about moving pieces around and trying to adjust. So without, like I said, I can't give too much away. This is a chess match. This is two good teams going head to head, two good coaches coaching at their best. So, we'll make adjustments. We'll be ready for Game 4, and that's all I can give for right now. But obviously, we did watch film, or we will continue to watch film tonight in our meetings. So the game is about adjustments, and we'll definitely do our part about adjustments. But that's all I can give right now.
Tim Reynolds.
Can you give us all the adjustments? Obviously, you've been in this series twice, and the coach you played for the first time is the coach on the other side now. Are there parallels that you see between him and Spo? Like, are there things they do? I mean, obviously nobody does everything alike, but are there things that Brad does that you kind of see in Spo or vice versa?
Oh, I think the number one thing that sticks out to me is the attention to detail. Both coaches have preached that and pushed that with their teams, respectively. You need that at this level. You need that at this time of the year. Because both teams really know exactly what you're trying to get to. It's just about the level of detail that you're doing it and how much you're imposing your will. So I think the similarities is definitely the attention to detail that they both coach with, and they push it to their groups tremendously. So I think that's a hell of a compliment to both coaches.
And broadly about this series, I think Boston's won 7 or 8 of the quarters. You guys have won 2 of the 3 games. I know you guys weren't happy with the way the other night went, but can that get lost a little bit in that you are still winning the series?
Yeah, at this time of the year, I don't care how many quarters we win, as long as we win the game. Obviously, you want to play your best basketball for 48 minutes, but that's not going to always happen that way. So you got to find a way to win. And I think we've been doing a good job of just reacting and trying to find a way to win. But we definitely got to start the games better. We feel that. We feel that trickle down throughout the whole series. It's been like we got to start the games better to give ourselves a chance just to weather the storm, whether it comes in the third quarter or fourth quarter a little better. So with that being said, we know it, we feel it, and it's on us to make that adjustment. But no matter how many quarters they win or we win, at the end of the day, it matters who wins the game and who advances. So that's all we were focused on.
Anthony Chang.
Hey, Jay, you said during the Milwaukee series you kind of wanted to see the team go through some type of adversity. How do you feel like the team has kind of handled the past 24 to 36 hours? I understand you guys obviously still have a 2-1 series lead and you're 10-2 in the playoffs, but how do you think the team has handled these past 36 hours?
We're coming together today and putting up and working on some few things. Our spirit is right, our head is right, our energy is there. So I think we're responding the right way. We're just trying to get better and trying to see how we can play a complete game, play a complete 48-minute game and be as sharp as we can be on both ends of the court. So with that being said, I think we took the loss or took the adversity in a good way, and we're still taking it in. We still have meetings tonight. We're still digesting the adversity we faced, and we're gonna obviously talk it out and get better. But I think we're headed in the right direction when it comes to taking on the adversity and owning it as men and owning it as a group and trying to move forward.
And one more, if I'm looking at the tape, what did Boston do differently against the zone maybe that made it tougher on you guys when you guys, showed that look?
I mean, I just think they did a good job of just getting a body in the middle of the paint and just passing the ball well. But I think we could do a lot of things differently and a lot of things better at a higher level. I just feel like they were ready for it, they were equipped for it, and they did a good job of just moving the ball.
Rebecca Harlow.
Yeah, Jay, this team's been very effective at defending the paint. Obviously, that was a breakdown in Game 3, the points in the paint. You know, going through that film, what stands out to you there? And again, I know you're not going to give me all your adjustments, but what stands out there about what you guys need to do differently?
To keep it simple, just guard the ball better. Obviously, we can do a lot of different things to help the ball, the defender on the ball. But I feel like we got to get our pride back in and guarding the ball, guarding the guy in front of you, and making it as tough as possible. And from there, we'll figure it out. But I think that's number one.
Jimmy said the other night, I thought this was interesting, that sometimes you guys can rely on Bam to be that last line of defense a little too much just because he's so good at it. Did you see that? Like, do you feel that way too, just in terms of making sure that you guys are all not having to rely on that?
I'm saying because the way our defense is schemed, it could be anybody pulling that. We call it pulling the trigger, being the low guy on the defensive end and being the last help of line of defense. But I feel like we do rely on him a lot, but at the same time, sometimes we're asking him to guard the perimeter. So that may be a different guy who's the low man. So I think all 5 guys on the court have to be Bam, in a sense, be that guy to come over and help a driver or stop the ball. So we know that we watch film on it. We can't rely on him all the time because we're asking a lot of him on that end. So it has to be multiple other guys.
Jason Jackson.
Hey, Jay, question about the time off after playing all these games, basically back day off in between. Has this been a blessing to be able to do the things that you're talking about, or is it a challenge because you want to get back to the hardwood?
I mean, it's really right there in the middle. I feel like with your body wise, you want that rest, but at the same time, the competitive nature, you want to get back out there, especially with a game that we had in Game 3. So we definitely taking our time and getting our bodies right, but at the same time, we have to continue to play the game and play the adjustments in our head and get prepared be the most prepared team for Game 4. So I feel like we are doing the things we have to do during this time apart from gameplay.
Ethan Skolnick.
Jay, 2 quick things. The first one is looking over some of the numbers. You guys missed more uncontested shots than you have the entire time in the entire playoffs. As you guys were watching the film, did you see that? I mean, it looked like you were getting the shots you wanted. They just, for a game, weren't going down.
Yeah, it was just for whatever reason. We were pleased with the shots we were taking, but we can be better at it too. We knew we had some room and we had some type of improvement to do on that end of the court. Just getting to our spots quicker and being ready. I think a couple of shots really caught us by surprise. Me, myself included. I just got to be always ready. And from that point on, our offense started clicking back to where it was at. But I think a lot of guys got some good looks at it, and for whatever reason, they didn't go. So we'll be more prepared for our shots and be prepared for the Florida offense come Game 4.
Jay, obviously you played with Jimmy a long time, and he doesn't seem to need a lot of outside motivation to get himself going. But can you tell in a game when he comes into a game when he's particularly hyped up or not, just in terms of his overall intensity?
You'll never be able to tell pregame because he's like me when it comes to pregame. He's always that quiet, listen to his music, in his own zone type player. He's not a really rah-rah type guy before the game. So only way you can really tell is by his play. I think he does do a lot of talking. He does do enough to be a leader in our locker room, but at the same time, to get himself going, he's not a guy who just sit there and talk about it. He's a guy who's about action. So you can definitely tell by the start of the game if he's in one of those moves where it's just going crazy all game, or letting the game come to him and filling it out into the fourth quarter and making a run at it. So whatever it is, we just need him to be on. We need him to be as locked in as possible, and we need the offense to flow through him and flow through Goran as much as possible. And obviously, we got a lot of guys who can play around those guys with the ball in their hands. So we'll be better come Game 4.
Thanks, Jay.
Jared Weiss from The Athletic.
Jay, when you were back in Boston, you guys had an offense that was a lot of top of the arc, pick and roll heavy, stuff like that. Now in Miami, the ball kind of flows kind of inside out. Has that made it different from you and your role kind of popping and flaring around the arc?
I mean, yeah, it fits to my versatility just to be able to play, put the ball on the ground and make a play, or just catch and shoot it in a rhythm that I'm comfortable with. Obviously, it's been good to touch the ball and have it pop around for everybody, not just myself, but for everybody to just get the touches and get to feel the ball because I feel like when you have all five guys on the court who's live and able to score and able to make plays for one another, it makes us more dangerous. So it's been a great flow for us. Collectively, and I think we have a few adjustments to make just to make that run a little smoothly because they are doing a good job of adjusting, of making adjustments and throwing different lineups and different matchups for us. So it's definitely been beneficial for myself, but not only for myself but for our team.
Hugh Hopkins from Sky Sports UK.
Thanks for talking to us, Jay. Goran struggled a bit in the last game, and he's been your leading scorer throughout the playoffs. So how important is he for you guys on the floor, but also how important is he as a teammate off the court?
Like I said, Gordon is one of our guys, one of our playmakers. So he has been a leading scorer, but at the same time, we expect him to make plays. That could be scoring, that could be his assist being up, that could be just getting our offense set and running. So. We depend on him to do a lot of stuff on that end of the court, and we will continue to do so. But his leadership is very high in our locker room, and we love him as a leader. We know he's giving it his all. He's a hell of a competitor. He's someone you want to go to war with. So we know what we get from him. We just got to get him in better situations to make his playmaking get us back to where we're on the winning side of basketball.
That's great, thanks. And historically, are there any players that you would compare his game to?
I mean, in a sense, he's like a Steve Nash in a little bit because he's so good in the pick and roll. He can do a lot of different things in the pick and roll. He gets his teammates involved, and he can score at a high clip. So I just think his pick and roll game is pretty high and up there with a great like Steve Nash.
That's great, thanks.
And Jay, our last question, Christos Saltos from SDNA Greece.
Hello, Jay. Two questions. First of all, which will gonna be the key point for Game 4 against Celtics? And the second question is how different will gonna be your defense approach with Gordon Hayward on the other side?
Well, I feel like just to get Game 4 under control, I feel like first of all we have to play harder. I think those guys really play harder than us when it comes down to it. You can talk X's and O's all you want to. I just feel like those guys brought the fight to us from start to finish. And it's up to us to respond. And I think our defensive assignments on that end of the court with Gordon Hayward are the same. We just got to continue to make it hard. He's a respectable player in this league. He's an offensive threat. We know it. But we just want to continue to wear him down as much as possible, give him a lot of different looks, and have nothing come easy for him. So we know he can get it going, and we just don't want him to get going at all on us. And he's definitely a vocal point in what we're trying to do on that end of